Absolutely outstanding, and welcome for the very first time, the newlywed Mr. and Mrs. Quine! Danny and James. I just want to say, just want to say thank you. They're really good, and you know, Millie and Layla, they're really good sisters, aren't they? Sisters. And it's a good job no one's got COVID, isn't it, Alex? Anyway, without further ado, guys, it's 2021. The bride has things to say to you, so can we hear it from Mrs. Quine, everybody?
Customary for a bride to speak, but I've actually been stuck in my back room for the past 16 months, so please just humour me through this. I'll try and keep it brief. It means absolutely everything that you're here on our special day. Sorry, Auntie Karen. Huge apologies for the sheer amount of ugly crying that you've seen from me so far, and I've got a feeling it's not over yet, but there we go. I apologise for that. Slightly emotional, and my nerves are shot. The past few weeks have been a bit interesting trying to plan this celebration. Are we going ahead? Are we not? Due to COVID, sorry. Yes. Well, obviously we've not really had any idea of who we can have, what we can do. So thanks to everyone at Lodor for being amazing and letting us go ahead. Obviously there are some people that can't be with us today, but I'm delighted that almost 60 of the finest people we know are here. So the coronavirus pandemic has been both a challenging and rewarding time in the Quine household. Rewarding in the fact that James found his dream career after kind of looking for it forever. So, Millie received access to some life-changing medication, which has been amazing. And she's we all got to spend a bit more time with Layla, which is great. It's not been easy, you know, shielding for months and months was very difficult, not being able to see parents, siblings, or go to the shops. Definitely took its toll, and we missed some kind of major milestones for us last year. My 30th, James' 40th, and Layla's first birthday and christening type celebration. It's been such a shame that most of the people in this room haven't really got the chance to know her like we have. She is a joy 90% of the time. That 10% was shown 10 minutes before we were due to walk down the aisle this morning. We were like, oh my God. But when restrictions lift, we can't wait for you all to get to spend a bit more time with her. Back in October, although we're not particularly religious, we were hoping to have some kind of naming ceremony for her to tie in with her first birthday, but we won't be able to do that. For Layla. Oh, Layla. We'd still like to do that, only it might be a while before we get to. So, as pretentious as it might seem, whilst we're all together in one room, we'd like to select 4 guide parents, which is a bit like, you know, godparent, but for non-religious folk like us, to kind of be there for her, and that's really the purpose of my job today. So we would like to ask these 4 people if they would play a hand in our daughter's upbringing to set an example and to be there for her whenever she needs. Everyone now's going like, ooh. the first person is Auntie Beck. She's not really done anything yet. Who is one of my best friends and one of the most considerate and loving people I know. She always knows what to do and will absolutely adore her as well. Auntie Beck. Amy. Or as she is known, whose door will always be open, just as it is now for any of us, because she's quite literally the best.
You need to put a lock on that flaming door.
Tris, one of James's oldest and best friends. They care for each other deeply, and he's just one of the best dads we know. And Michael. Triple threat. And former stage husband before James came along, which was always super awkward because he's married to my husband. But he's also a great friend to James. Uncle John's going to die. Before I burst into tears again, I'm going to wrap things up before passing to my dad. By saying it's been so wonderful to have you all here, and hopefully the future brings us many more celebrations like this to make newer, happier memories. Thanks.
Well, that was not yet. You need to talk. That was lovely hearing from our bride there, wasn't it? And congratulations to you chosen ones. Now, guys, we're all loving the drinking game. The constant sound of James, Quine. It's getting in the flow of the speeches. All right. So we need to keep it. I think we need to go to a point system. Yeah. So let's be pointing at people. Yeah. So let's get these speeches going so people can keep their flow. I think that will work nicely, won't it? So anyway, now we're moving on to father of the bride. He's been waiting all day for this.
Oh yeah.
He's buzzing. He's got so much to say. There's so many words. There's so many people to thank. There's so many sisters to talk about later. So anyway, let's hear it from Pete, everybody!
Hello. Is everybody happy?
Yes!
Is everybody happy? Yes! Please calm down, it's not pantomime. Okay. Let's crack on and have some fun, shall we, Dan? There are some of you here that I haven't seen for quite a few years, and of course there are some of you I haven't met yet. So for them, I'll start by saying, in case you missed Joe's announcement, I'm Pete, Danny's dad. I'm very old, and my memory is atrocious, so I'm going to have to wave these bits of paper around in front of you, I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. Elaine and I, along with John and Sandra, and of course James and Danielle, sorry John, would like to welcome you all to this spectacular setting, and to thank you all for coming here to share this very special day with us. There are, however, a number of people that James and Danielle wanted to be here, but for various reasons can't be. So I'd like to propose a toast. Please raise your glasses to absent family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be standing here speaking about James and Danielle. James is kind, considerate, and trustworthy. There were some other nice words written about him that I tried to copy down, but I'm sorry mate, I couldn't read your handwriting. Wedding protocol dictates that I welcome the groom into our family. And in this instance, that means of course both James and Millie. As soon as we got to know them both, and we saw how Danny fitted into their lives, we couldn't have been happier. Addition into our life. I'd also like to thank them both for taking Danny off our hands. We've been looking to offload her. No, that's not right. We've been looking forward to seeing her happily settled. And speaking of welcome additions into our lives, there is another Quine. a rather small one, that has us wrapped around her little finger. And I have noticed she's been working the ring tonight, so she's probably done the same to the rest of you. Layla has completed the Quine family. Well, so far, that is. Look, I won't keep you long. I'm not going to prattle on for ages. I'm also not going to say anything that might embarrass the bride, as is sort of traditional at these things. Although, there is divided opinion on that one. Some say it's the young lady's special day, don't ruin it for her. Others might say, Pete, you've been embarrassing both of your daughters at every opportunity for the last 30 years. Why stop now?
Why stop?
Actually, on that subject, early on in the wedding planning process, which is a long time ago now, the topic of speeches came up. And darling daughter looked straight into my eyes and told me in no uncertain terms that my speech was to be submitted in advance to her for vetting and approval. Oh, that's odd. When I just said that, hang on, quote, Danny looked straight to my eyes and instructed me in no uncertain terms, unquote. Did you all feel that? I sensed like a bonding moment. I think most of us have had that look from Danny at one time or another. Well, all except her dear gran and granddad. So, this was vetted before you could hear it. But this one wasn't. Right, strap yourselves in. Here we go. Oh, yes. I am conscious that Danielle is sitting here in fear and trepidation of what I'm about to say. Basically, she is wrecking it. The embarrassing tales that I might tell you about her earlier years, the binge drinking, the drugs, rehab, not to mention that difficult second ASBO. But look, she's got no need to worry, I'm not going to talk about any of that tonight, even though it does leave me rather short of material. Obviously I'm only joking. There was only one ASBO. Danny didn't really vet this speech. She bloody wanted to though. I'm sure we all agree that smudged makeup and puffy eyes are not a good look. I am talking about me there. So I'm going to take a deep breath and quickly rattle through the soppy bit, if you don't mind. I remember when I first met Danny. It was sometime in the early 90s. I think Elaine was there. I'm not sure. Maybe she was busy doing something. Anyway, Danielle was a bit reticent to come out into the world. She obviously hadn't heard her offstage cue. So, with a nudge from the medics and after a suitable pause for dramatic effect, Danny made her grand entrance, centre stage, and hey presto, a star is born. Clearly her time on stage beckoned from day one. Mind you, there were a couple of occasions during sleepless nights in the early years that we might happily have sent her back. But that is something to bear in mind, James. Danny is non-returnable. Elaine and I are immensely proud of our daughters. They're both conscientious, hard-working, and above all, caring. They both turned out to be wonderful human beings, the sort this world of ours needs more of. And of course, they both have their mum to thank for that. However, today is specifically about Danny, so tradition dictates that I have to dig up some sort of anecdote involving Danielle. Who am I to question tradition? So I'm talking about pride in our daughter, and there was a particular incident with Danny, quite a small one, But I was pretty chuffed about it at the time, although her mum was not quite that chuffed. The quick backstory to this is that I've always had a sort of hippie outlook on those things, and naturally wanted the girls to grow up with the same attitude. You know, the kind of thing, what's really important in life, stuff like that. So, Danny hosted her first small gathering with her friends at our home one evening, aged about 18, I think. And in fact, a few of the guests from that evening are in this room tonight.
Yes.
It was something between a dinner party and a small rave. Now, when I say rave, that's it. That may have been a slight exaggeration on my part. The music was more Andrew Lloyd Webber than Acid House, and the only E's that were present were notes played on the piano. But at some point in the evening, the police were required to attend our home. Details are a bit sketchy now, shall we say they're lost in the mists of time. But nonetheless, in my eyes, Danny had achieved something that neither I nor her mum had ever managed to do. Having the police called to your very first party. Yes! Everyone, let's hear a woohoo! That's pretty cool. In my weird sort of dad world, that made this old hippie very proud. Cheer up, Dan, I could have picked a worse story. I'll do a different one if you like. Seriously, I could list Danny's many accomplishments that we are so proud of, but that would have meant me standing here reading out a very long list, and you all know them anyway. The sheer force of nature. There's Danielle, Alex, Quine. Oh, sorry. She always achieves what she sets out to do, and used it to the highest standard. And I know she'll do just the same, along with James, in making their marriage a success too. So this I won't prattle on, so I'm going to ask you to raise your glasses in one more toast, please. To the bride and groom. I think Russell's got a word to say. Is it? No, is it James?
Let's hear it repeat, everybody, come on! Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have finished that speech if it was me. That would have ended like this. Yeah, smashed it, mate. Everyone loved it. Did we love Pete's speech? Yay! Okay, we're getting to the big guns now, guys. The next one is the groom. So, what we're going to need, he's going to need a bit of a rowdy support because I figure this one might go on a little bit. So, you're going to have to ramp up that energy a little bit. So let's go, let's hear from Mr. Quine, everybody!
Okay. So, firstly, a big thank you to Pete. It was a great speech. I knew it would be. I very much enjoyed it, and I know how much Danny was looking forward to hearing what you had to say. But you've done it very proud, and I hope that I can too. Okay, well, it is absolutely my pleasure to stand here on behalf of me and my new wife. Good evening to you all and welcome to our special day. Following such uncertain times due to COVID, it's so nice just to actually be all together, even with some slight restrictions, but we really hope that you are able to relax and wholeheartedly enjoy our day. However, I personally do need to stress there are some local advice and guidelines in place, and they are stay upright, control your glass, and slurp wine. Okay, so you've all heard the story about the bride who dreams of her wedding day. Now, I've had a dream too, and my bride has prepared and planned today beautifully. She's put a hell of a lot of hard work into this and making our dream a reality. We prayed for good weather. We prayed for good health. but most of all, we prayed that all our guests actually arrived here safely. But at the end of the day, the only thing that could make today perfect for me was getting to stand next to the woman that I love, so that I could exchange vows with her and become husband and wife. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that really matters. Danny, I'm a simple man with simple wants. And when today is a long time ago, you'll still hear me saying that the best dream I know is you. Okay, on to the thank yous. Danny and I would like to thank you for being here and celebrating today with us. It is a huge honour to see you all, and we are so grateful for your generosity in the messages and gifts that we have received. It means so much to us to be surrounded by all the people that we love, and thank you all for taking time off work, leaving children behind, and travelling up to this gorgeous venue to be with us here today. We're also very much looking forward to spending the rest of the day with you all, because we know how excited that some of you are to be out for the first time in 18 months. Okay, Danny and I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who has been involved in making today so special. To Michael and Dan for their songs. To Tris and my beautiful sister for their readings. To Kim and Michaela and all the staff here at Lodore Falls, a huge thank you for keeping. They've kept constant contact with us during this stressful run-up. It's been odd, that's all I can say, but these guys have been absolutely unbelievable in reassuring that there's been a backup plan, all three, just in case, and for their hospitality and a stunning meal. We think this place is amazing, and I hope that they will have us back every year for our anniversary. Our photographer Adam, it's been a pleasure to have a shadow all day today, and I cannot wait to see our pictures. To Abby for the beautiful flower arrangements. We managed to coax her out of floristry retirement, and I think she's done an absolutely amazing job today. Sarah and Libby for the decor. This over here is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I can't wait to take it home. And our entertainers this afternoon, the Hope Street Busking Band, they're fantastic. They'll be playing again shortly after this. Thank you guys, you're great, but if you need the Northwest Best duo, just search Brothers of Swing or see that. Okay. I'd like to now sincerely thank Danny's mum and dad, Pete and Elaine, not only for becoming my in-laws, but also for their very kind wedding contribution. You have both welcomed me into your family with open arms. I truly love the warmth you have extended to me ever since I first stepped foot through your front door, for making me feel like the son you never wanted. Sorry, the son you never had right from day one. I was so happy that you agreed to let me marry your daughter. Elaine, you are Layla's amazing nanny, who we all cherish so much. It is easy to see where Danny gets her massive heart from, and kindness too. Thank you for always offering me seconds when I'm around for any meal. for being Danny's constant sounding board at least 3 times a week, and for having the most infectious laugh. Pete, don't tell her I told you, but Danny thinks the world of you. The two of you have the best bond, which I very much appreciate. And when your granddaughter was born, the message you sent me simply read, "Congratulations, James. Layla is as beautiful as her mum." And I just want to thank you for all your DIY advice and being an excellent opponent during Christmas Day games. Thank you for raising your daughter to have the determination, the creativity and the resilience she puts into everything that she does in life. Danny has told me many stories about growing up, and at the backbone of each is the support and encouragement that she receives and still gets from both of you. I'm sure she has made you proud, and I'm positive that she will continue to do so. and I promise to take good care of your daughter, and of course do everything she tells me to. I would now like to turn to my own dad and stepmom, who should have been with us today. I don't say this enough, but I love the two of you so much and appreciate everything you have done for me. You're always there for advice and have been there through the bad times and the good. From the moment I first met Danny, I could tell how much you liked her. It was great for me to watch you develop a relationship with her as she became part of our family. I also know that you appreciate how happy and content I am since Danny came into my life. To Sandra, for half of my life now, you have been my maternal mother figure. Someone who always keeps me in check, but also gives me a hug. You have always treated me like a son. Thank you so much for being a loving wife to my dad and grandmother to my children. And Dad, I'm always told that we are very similar. I look back now on how those little things growing up have shaped who I am today. You are the reason why I draw, why I watch Formula One, and why I smile every time I hear a Quine or Dire Straits song. Why all my cars I've ever owned have been Fords. Because I thought when you brought your black company car home circa 1990, it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. But mostly thank you for the fact that I cannot eat a packet of crisps without folding the empty packet up and tying it into a knot. Danny and I would like to thank you for raising me to be an honest, handsome and talented young man. Yes. But seriously, I hope I do make you proud, because knowing that means so much to me. I promise to be a good husband to your daughter-in-law and continue to raise my family the only way that I know how. Can I just ask Millie to bring some gifts over? And as she does that, can I ask you, in raising your glass and just toasting parents? Okay, only a few pages left, guys, won't be much longer. Okay, right, there is an unwritten rule where, whilst on stage and performing, that states that the supporting part should not steal the show or look more handsome than the leading man. And therefore, I'd like to thank my ushers, Joe, Tris, and Chris, for sticking to that rule. You are three of the oldest and closest friends that I have, and boy, have we shared some adventures together. To Tris and Chris. Since our high school days, we have been best friends. From naked barbecues in our teens, to unbelievable holidays, both home and abroad, and to finding incredible partners and having children of our own, who I hope will grow up together to be friends too. We always pick up where we left off, and that proves how close we are. To Joe, with Amy, you were the best roommates ever. You are my favourite drinking buddy, and the person who tempted me back onto the stage. Whether we are just having a good old chat over a brew or shouting, yeah, from the back of the theatre, you're always a true pal and a top bloke. Thank you all for being part of today. And of course, my brother. Thank you, Russ, for being my best man. Thank you for your support and help in the run-up to today, and I couldn't think of anyone who I'd rather have standing next to me whilst I watched Danny walk up the aisle. For 40 years, you have been my
How many? I'm not 40.
For 40 years we've been inseparable. And whenever I need you, you're there. We've grown up side by side, and you're an unbelievable brother. I love you so much, and I hope that never changes. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about me in a minute. Okay, just a few left. Apart from my wife, there are 5 other beautiful members of our wedding party. Chloe, Becky, Sarah, Millie, and Layla. We'd like to thank you so much for being our wonderful bridesmaids and flower girl. Chloe, you and Danny are such close sisters. I always love to hear you on the other end of the FaceTime, laughing and giggling about something you've been up to. It's such a shame it lives so far away because I really wish we could see you more. Becky, you are fondly referred to as Auntie Beck. I think you and the other ladies are amazing and wonderful and the best long-time friends that Danny could have. And there's never a dull moment when we're together. Rum pong. No. To Sarah, you are Danny's OG theatre companion and a mutual friend for such a long time. You were more than influential in the start of our relationship and the only person who gives me the sympathetic eyes whenever I try to dance. And of course, to Millie and Layla.
Here we go.
My 2 girls. I've got here, it says breathe. Right, I love you both. You are the most precious things I have, and being your dad is the ultimate favourite job. So please stand with me and toast the bridesmaids.
Yay.
I think you stand up. You stay still.
To me.
And finally, Danielle Quine. This is it now, I promise. I would like to thank you for agreeing to marry me and for single-handedly completely changing my life for the better, forever. I think you'll agree that she looks absolutely gorgeous today. And as she predicted, which is standard, I found it hard keeping it together as she walked towards me down the aisle. While nobody in the world is 100% perfect, I think we have agreed to disagree that you are 99%.
That's the first one.
On the other hand, I have many flaws, but I'm your husband now, so there's nothing you can do about it. Danny, I am not the same person I was before I met you. When we first embarked on our relationship, something special started, and we just didn't realise it. When we were first cast opposite each other in Carousel all those years ago, there were people, some in this room, who told me, "Oh, you're going to love Danny Wrench. She's amazing," they said. "You two are going to be brilliant." And the first thing I can remember is you saying to me, "Hi, do you need a script?" And it's a good job we had scripts because we hardly had any other conversation.
Terrified.
We just spent a lot of time learning to sing and act together. The dancing scared us to death, but we enjoyed every second of performing alongside each other and even had our first kiss on stage. As we got to know each other, we discovered how much we had in common. Disney, friends, quizzes, and our ability to think in sync. Discovering our middle names, our first date, our following the Sunday, sitting together chatting in Lowther Gardens, becoming your new theatre companion. Random Wednesdays and a Noel Gallagher concert are just some of the highlights of us getting to know each other. Something had sparked between us, and others had noticed it too. Naturally, I tried my best to not fall in love with you, but it was impossible. How could I not? You are a selfless person who is always thinking of others, thoughtful, supportive, generous, wise beyond your years, and beautiful both inside and out. I cannot believe how far we have come. Sometimes it still has me in shock just thinking about how lucky I am to be able to wake up knowing that you're in my life. I thought I knew what love was before we met, but I was wrong. It's an indescribable feeling that you only know if you have it, and once you actually feel it. You looked into my eyes so deep, and you know I used to deny it, but we are truly soulmates. To quote, the way I feel about you is like I finally understand what Lionel Richie was singing about.
Oh, yes.
How many people are lucky enough to have such a special person who loves them back? Life is always about decision making and all the choices and paths that we take. I believe that this leads each and every one of us to this very moment. I adore the life we've created, whether it is Tuesday night date nights on Rosette at the Opera House, cheese, meats and wines, or just topping and tailored under our blanket on the sofa watching the box set. It's all about sharesies, making each other laugh, rarely falling out, and simply enjoying each other's company. Then, lastly, of course, there is our baby girl. Watching you and Layla makes me beam every day. Our daughter is the perfect mix and true symbol of both of us, and the part she played in our engagement was beautiful. You are an unbelievable mum and stepmom, which epitomises who you are. I love you so much and I can't wait to grow old with you. I know there will be times of frustration, hurt, anger and tears, but they are just moments through the laughter, smiles, hugs and cheers. I love you so much, and our future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Our future is whatever we make it, so let's make it a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, Danielle.
Anyone else just need a moment? Should we all just have a breather for 5 after that? Right, okay. So, I mean, that speech had a bit of everything, didn't it? I mean, it had tears, humour, it was basically the perfect speech. So, I wouldn't like to follow that. Oh. Awkward. Guys, those of you that know Russ, I'm sure that's everyone in the room, we all know he's a very funny and heartfelt dude, but what he really needs in his life is a massive cheer to get him going. So, can we please give a right, right, what we'll do is we'll start it small and then we'll build it up for us. Yeah, so can we get like a whoa, a bigger, a bigger, a bigger, come on, let's go, let's go!
Who had 25 minutes in the sweepstake? I didn't know about the drinking game. Thank you guys for creating a drinking game. Thank you for all getting involved. Thank you for drinking when I say thank you. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Little bit of housekeeping before I start. So, the management have asked me, due to health and safety reasons, please don't get up on top of the tables and chairs during my standing ovation. So where do I start with James?
40 years.
40. James, right, James. James is handsome, witty, intelligent. Danny, what's that say? I think me and Pete have the same script, right? Right, let me introduce myself. So, I'm Russ. Russell, if I'm ever in trouble. I'm James's younger, better looking brother. And I fear I might be getting called Russell in a few minutes' time. So, me and James. We first met in the early 80s. I'm not sure he wanted to meet me, but everywhere I went, he was. Everywhere he went, I was. So he made a bit of an effort to get to know me. We've had many adventures together. I soon realised that my brother, when he finds something he likes, he embraces it, it becomes his passion, and he sticks with it. Take Toy Story, for example. In 1996, my 15-year-old brother and a few of his mates headed off to the cinema to watch the newly released Toy Story. Loved it, he was hooked. The love of Toy Story began. So James went out, he bought 2 sets of Woody and Buzz dolls. 1 set to play with, and 1 set that you must not play with. And Danny will confirm that he still owns these household ornaments. In 2010, my 29-year-old brother went to watch Toy Story 3. And cried, and cried, and cried, and cried, and cried a bit more, because Andy gave all his toys away and it was all over. And being a true fan, he refuses to watch Toy Story 4 because it should never ever have been released. Have you watched a little bit of it?
Yeah, I've seen it now.
A tiny bit. Rubbish, isn't it? And then there's his love of Christmas jumpers. Danielle's favourite story. So, James loves a Christmas jumper, buys a brand new Christmas jumper every year. One year he turns up to work, Christmas jumper day, wearing the same jumper as one of his colleagues. Nothing unusual there, until you hear the conversation. Good morning, James. Loving the jumper. Great minds think alike. Good morning, Linda. Yes, they do. You do realise that's a lady's jumper you've got on, James? No. Well, it is. James turned up to work in a lady's Christmas jumper. And to give you all a visual, very tight-fitting, because he picked up what he thought was a men's large, it was a ladies' large. He's probably still got it, so if you want to ask him to wear it, how tight-fitting it was. More recently, James has devoted his time and efforts to amateur dramatics. Something that's been in and around his life with Millie for 18 years. James would say about 20, but 18 years. James would often help out behind the scenes, admiring the ladies' costumes, until he was later asked to take part on stage, where he discovered his love and talent for acting. This also allowed him to develop his lifetime passion for singing, and it's given him a genuine reason to dress up as a woman. It looks awesome, by the way. Being involved in amateur dramatics is where James met Danny. They didn't really interact much in the early, but I'll never forget something that my brother asked at the time. Is it possible to love someone without actually knowing them? Today, you've answered that question. I saw a real positive change in James when he met you, Danny. He smiled a lot more, he laughed a lot more, and he walked around with his head held high. He was happy. To this day, he is happy, and that's because of you. And that's because when James finds something he likes, he embraces it, it becomes his passion, and he sticks with it. James found Danny. Danny, I've never seen James happier, and genuinely that is because of you. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to our family. You and your bridesmaids dotted about on different tables. You all look absolutely stunning today. And what an amazing job you've done planning this wonderful day. You've taken on a worldwide pandemic and absolutely smashed it out of the park. I also need to say a big well done to the spreadsheet. If anyone's close to James and Danny, you'll know about the spreadsheet. Anything that's to do with this wedding has been on the spreadsheet. And I've lost count of how many times I've asked James about something. James, what's going on? This? Let me consult the spreadsheet. Phones come out, synced. So thank you to Bill Gates and Microsoft. Now it's pretty obvious that James and Danny have got a shared love of Friends. You've all seen the table decorations. So I'd like to read you a short poem by Ross from Series 7, Episode 24. I'm sure you'll know it. Entitled Love. L is for life, and what is life without love? O is for oh wow. V is for this very surprising turn of events. E is for how extremely normal I find it together. Danny, James, it's been an absolute honour and privilege to be your best man today. And can everybody be upstanding in joining me in a toast to Danny and James? The end.
I think you're an emotional rollercoaster sat over there, guys. So I'm just glad your dad doesn't have to do a speech as well, because I'm not sure I could hack another Quine boy giving us an emotional rollercoaster.